My name is Roger Harzog. I am the owner of Tree Theory Landscape Management, and we are not a landscape maintenance company. We are a consultant and primarily about trees. And so today we're going to be talking about trees, and we're going to talk about how to evaluate those trees. So we start out here in this zone. I call this zone 1. So here we look at this zone 1, which is the predicament of the tree. It's the situation of the tree, and it's sitting out here in the middle of this grass, because this is where everything's happening with the tree. Everything the tree has, the health of it starts here in the soil, not up there, way up in the air. It starts down here. So as we walk closer to the tree, we will see the tree's roots that are on the surface of the soil, growing right under the grass. And so that tree is reaching out, is extending its roots because it has to, not because it wants to. Trees naturally put their roots down in the soil. That tree is putting its roots up out of the soil in the air. And so it's desperate to get something that way. And I suspect that it has to do with the irrigation system. But as we get closer to this tree, this is zone 2 of the tree. And this is the root system and the flare of the bark here, the trunk flare, and right below that is the root flare. This is the transition zone from the tree to the roots, and it's called a flare. So as we get closer, we'll see that this tree has lots of roots up in the air, not down in the soil. And we'll notice that there are holes in this tree right here, where that spray irrigation water will go and pool in there and rot, because that's not a natural thing for trees either. So if we look all around these roots here that are up in the air, we see some of them growing over each other here. This is called a girdling root, and that will eventually choke off that root so that it can't take in any air, it can't take in any water or nutrients. That'll eventually choke off this tree. And as we look around here, we see these roots are chopped off on the top. So this tree is severely injured in this root system, which becomes an open door for fungus and insects to go right into the root system. All of that spray irrigation is not for the trees, it's for the grass. The problem with this is that the spray irrigation also comes up on the trees, and there are holes in here, wounds in this tree where they cut off some of the branches before. They didn't heal completely, so that's a place where water will go in and begin decaying the tree. That is zone 2 of the tree. The third zone here we're looking at is the trunk and the beginnings of the scaffold branches up to that point. And you can see these are very poor pruning cuts. These are inappropriate cuts. The tree is able to compartmentalize and heal itself over time, but not with that kind of a cut. That will never heal. That's the third zone right there. And the fourth zone, the last thing I look at, is the crown. Most people look at tree and look at the crown first. Don't do that. Look at the roots first, because that's where all the action is for a tree. So this tree has several issues that need to be addressed. A major one is the root system that is not going down into the soil, and the irrigation, the improper irrigation. So those are the zones, 4 zones that we need to look at. First is the situation of the tree. The second is the roots and the base of the tree, and the transition up to the trunk. The third is the trunk itself, and then the fourth is the crown of the tree. And you'll see different issues in different parts of that. You've got 2 tools that don't cost you anything to use them, and that is your eyes and your brain. Those are the most important tools that an arborist has, actually anybody has, because you have to look carefully and see what's here right before your eyes. Just look at it. Now, there's lots of evaluations that are beyond that. For instance, doing biological sampling, drill holes into the tree to see how far that rot has gone into the tree, soil samples, water samples. I've done all of those things, but really the major way to evaluate a tree is just to see it.